that's where we are in this world. War has become a global business. And we are one family of life. And often the ones that are suffering are the children and elderly, non-combatants. So I'm originally from Bulgaria. Ukrainians and Russians, Bulgarians have lived there for centuries. They're like brothers, killing each other for nothing. And the nuclear missiles are like this at this time. So I wanted to share that this is a unique gathering in the world. The Buddhist order to walk all over the world, sometimes in the most difficult places of war, chanting in peace, to wake up. We are in the 21st century. Either we're resurrecting consciousness as one life, or things are on the brink. So, thank you. We will always remain one family. And I had walked 92 across America from UN in New York City all the way to the test site in Nevada for the native people. We were probably the first to say Columbus Day should be Indigenous Peoples Day. I walked them from New York City to San Francisco. So America has gone really almost like to fascist. And you see it. So we have to make all the difference for the whole world here. This is the last empire. The Russians are old empire. They're trying to hold on something that's completely gone, finished. Thank you.
Clear.
I'm sorry, we would be remiss if we didn't read this letter that we just received from one of the friends, dear friends, and who was on the pilgrimage. Got it. Pio Celestino.
Oh, Pio.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and thank you. As Ingrid just said, Pio Celestino, originally from Peru, but living his adult life in the United States. He's in his 80s. He and his partner founded a place called Refugio de Rio Grande in Harlingen, Texas. And during the 80s, when there was so much war going on, Central America, so many refugees passed the border. They would take in the refugees just a few miles. They did tremendous work. I can't even begin to talk about it. But Pio became very connected with Nippon-san and us with him back in that period of time. And when he heard originally about the Middle Passage pilgrimage, he wrote with this, immediately with this awareness that this is incredibly important. And so we actually invited him to be on the advisory board, but he felt most important he should simply walk with us. So he walked when he could with us. So when he heard that this gathering was happening, we invited him to share some thoughts. And if I may, just share them for a moment. Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. Beloved Sister Claire, beloved Sister Ingrid, and all who are gathered here to celebrate the Middle Passage pilgrimage in the ceremony for Juneteenth Day. I had sent him a message that this was going to happen and invited him to say, he says, your message, dear sister, comes at a very painful moment. but it brings the faith-filled hope that lives in the vocation and spirit of strong women and men who took courage to put their very lives on the line to walk again the steps of the tragic journey thousands of innocent human beings were forced to take to help build empires based on ideas and forms of being that were alien and tragic to them. A painful moment with the old imperialist wars trademark of the so-called Western civilization, and with the devastating destruction of our Mother Earth, now expressed by the present attacks against hundreds, I read that, of native nations that for thousands of years have made their home in the Amazon jungles of Peru, which is my country, and Brazil. The horror of what the powerful are doing against the defenseless people of the land with the silence of the nation states brings memories of a genocidal past some of us thought was gone forever. Living those and many other sad moments in this refugee camp, the sad news of a different form came to us. The courageous life of a man, he's speaking of Daniel Ellsberg, who had showed everyone the magnificence of courage that a young man whose education and intelligence had already brought him to a promising future, but he made decisions that changed his life and changed the course of history. Yes, Daniel Ellsberg has died, and it was sad to me because whenever we used to think of what we were doing with our lives here in South Texas, Lisa, his partner, and I thought of him as we had thought of Camilo Torres, Nora Astorga, Guadalupe Carne, Sissy Fahrenhold, and many others. Those are all people who worked with the refugio. All of them were true to their ideas and beliefs, and all had the courage of changing their ideas and actions when they saw the truth that they should change. And meditating on them, as I was reading the book, we had sent a book of our Fuji Guruji's writings, as he was doing that, came the message that we were going to celebrate the pilgrimage of the Middle Passage. Beloved Sister Claire and Ingrid and all my friends who did that pilgrimage, I have been reading that Fuji Guruji repeats everywhere his contempt for civilization that makes human beings suffer in order to make wealth for a few. Yes, to build temples and pagodas isn't even enough. And I'm quoting Fuji Guruji. He says, human beings must dig deep into their souls and work towards correcting the tragic mistakes of what he calls St. Dorothy Day of New York called the evil and rotten system. The pilgrimage of the Middle Passage, dear friends, is a courageous effort to bring back and keep alive the memory of a tragedy that the rich and powerful want to hide. You also show us during these days the will to be and the stamina that the pilgrimage demanded. Almost finished. And you did it, you all did it with integrity, courage, but above all, with a joy of seeking to hold the hands in the distance of time and space with those who were stolen from their lands to be slaves in an aspiring empire that had opted to become the mockery that it is today of democracy. He says, well, to you, all of you whose names run in my mind, and to all, Sister Ingrid and all the monks, bless our refugee camp, and to all of you gathered, happy Juneteenth Day. Hasta la victoria, siempre.
Siempre.
He titled his letter, and I promised we would read it. He said that the pilgrimage of the Middle Passage is my best hope for overcoming these dark moments. He was in a very dark moment, so he loved to remember it. Thank you, Pio.
Ashe. Ashe. English-san, can I just insert one thing? I would like to call in the names of those who have moved on, just John Gracie, Jamie Babson, Earlene Robinson, and any of you can remember any other names, just call them and bring them into the room.
Tom Feelings.
Nor
No.
Nora.
Julius Joe Ford.
Julius Joe Ford.
Richard Malcolm Wright.
Marisa Shoney. Yes, Marisa Shoney. Ah, good.
Dr. David Du Bois.
David Du Bois.
Nelson Stevens.
Ashe.
Usher.
Ashe.
And all
Thank
the
you.
others who we couldn't bring forward.
My name's Melissa.
Hi, Melissa.
Hi. I consider Ingrid to be a second mom, although my actual mom is here too. So I have the pleasure of having two moms here, Charmaine, Craig. And I think if it's okay, I'd like everybody to join me. If you're able to stand, you know, and just try not to stand right behind someone so you can see what's happening. We've been sitting for a while, all of us, we've been processing a lot of things. So it'll be more like some stomping and some clapping and simple things. I can't play the music and dance at the same time. But our hearts are beating. There's always a constant drum happening. I think we're gonna make it happen together. I want our fingers and flesh together on this one. So why don't we just start with just rolling the hands, breathing, remembering the cycle of life, all the things that bring us forward and back and up and down. For that, up over our heads. Nice. And then stretch the hands forward if you can, or out to the side if it's more comfortable for your neighbors. Good. We're gonna scoop some energy up and into ourselves. And again, a little lower, deeper, digging into the earth. Symbolically bringing all that goodness, all that ancestor knowledge. Pat it into your heart. Clap it into your hands.